if you could reform HIMSS or reform RSNA, how would you, I mean, besides making it cheaper, right? What's what everyone says, given what they are, what can they do to improve? Because that's something everybody wants to see.
So, what's interesting is that HIMSS and RSNA are two of the more expensive, from a vendor perspective, two of the more expensive
For sure.
to attend in. In my, just, what I've generally seen over the years, costs go up every year, the cost goes up, and it doesn't seem to reduce the number of vendors who are going, right? So it almost doesn't seem to be a sticking point. The costs just keep going up. I don't know that, for instance, reducing the price would make it better. But I also feel like we're starting to lose the forest through the trees with some of these events. They're so big. Can we make them smaller? Can we convert into some type of regional event? Can RSNA, for instance, be like, the ASPNR of the world, like these small, little, really highly constructive events? Could they be? But I don't think so. I think they're so big now that they just can't go back. I do think, however, that especially for RSNA and for HIMSS, to be honest with you, I think they have leaned really perhaps too far into the AI science fair project. And, it's hard, again, like, is RSNA meeting these health systems and these physicians where they're at? And that's where I think there's some concern. I don't feel like they're doing enough to be, much more well-rounded, right? But that's also to the vendors as well. I mean, they're all kind of jumping onto that bandwagon, and whether they have, for instance, AI or not, I mean, AI is on their side. So it's a challenging, it's a challenging space.
Yeah, to me, it's almost like looking at it like, what is the purpose of the show? So it has to be the vendors are paying for what you need to do, basically what the vendors want. Like, sorry, clinicians.
Yeah.
You're not paying the bills for this. They are.
Yeah.
So, but it can also make it better for the attendees, the IT people, the radiologists, et cetera, because I know what HIMSS tried to do, right? And I think HIMSS and RSNA still do, like, here's the emerging tech pavilion or AI. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's saying, here's the SQL Server vendors. Here's the PL SQL Oracle vendor. Like, people don't think like that. It should be on, this is how I would do it. If I was HIMSS, I'll make that a little easier. I'm saying, here are the big enterprise vendors. If you do EHR and you have a bunch of stuff, you're this part of the show floor. We're not stretching out like, or Epic's way over here, Cerner's here. No, because that's a certain kind of buyer that are there. Now it's like, here's the coding. Anything dealing with HIM and coding, it's right here. Because people aren't there going, oh, I'm going to look for an EHR. It's not like going to the supermarket.
No,
I need some tomatoes. I need some beef. I got to get some chicken. Or I got to get a soda. You're like, no, no one does that. Well, maybe like 1%. I'm here. It's this focus area of rev cycle. Specific. Well, then have all those vendors there.
Yeah, I agree.
Say, well, yeah, but Cerner's not there. I'm like, that's fine, because anyone who's specifically looking would ever consider an Oracle Health or an Epic solution for something, they're probably getting all of their menu.
Right.
So stay there. But here's the imaging informatics guys at HIMSS. There's their booth. I mean, here's their section. Because if there's some people that are like, you know what, there are 2 or 3 things I'm looking at. Because honestly, if you're looking at an EHR, you're probably looking at all the other crap.
Right.
This is a different thing. So they're over here. All right. We're looking for we needed better automated coding, and we're looking for some ambient, listening technology. And, we got to get something that's going to help our rads out at RSNA or at HIMSS rather. Okay. So you look at it and you're an attendee, you're like, I go to this section, this and this. Simple.
Well,
And then you get way better conversations. The vendors get way better traffic and longer conversations rather than demo every 30 minutes. I'm like, no, someone who's coming to my booth, they're interested in coding. Their whole thing is to come here. I'm a coding vendor. I'm Maverick Medical. I'm NIM or whatever the heck they're called. And they can just spend, I'm going to be there for 90 minutes. And then the vendor's not like, we got to turn the tables. We got to get this guy out of here to get the next person in.